That's what happens when you let the dog eat. Avs win over the Washington Capitals.
Yikes.
6-2.
That was scary.
We got AJ, we got Eric, we got Rudo coming to you live. Honestly, an easy one in the end for Colorado. They did not really make their life that much harder than it needed to be.
Squirrely 8 minutes or so.
Yep.
And then it was fine.
Yep. Let's hit the 60-second rundown to get things started. First period was actually probably the worst period of the game for the Avs. They really did not play very well through a good portion of the first. They were getting dominated in the first half of it when it comes to possession, but Georgiev did play very well for them, kept it 0-0, and then superstars do superstar shit. You get a late penalty from the Avs. They really should have been lucky to get out of the period tied, but Cale Makar just scores a shorty because he's like that. He can do that. Then you get into the second period, and the Avs are just the better team, or rather, Nathan MacKinnon is just the better player as he scores a natural hat trick in the second, and before you know it, it's 4-0 at Colorado. They put the game away, essentially, in the third period. They do end up giving up a couple goals to Washington, but Mikko and Mac add another goal each to make it a 6-2 final. MacKinnon with another 4-goal night. The second one in, 2 weeks? I don't know.
16 games.
16 games. That's like
Good
a month,
enough.
but still.
It had never happened in Avalanche history. It's happened twice in 16 games. So.
Not too bad. Not too bad on that front.
Do we just want to jump right into another fun stat? Tiff, are you ready for this?
No, not yet.
Okay, we can keep it.
Let's talk about this since we've spent so many shows opening with this guy. Alexander Georgiev. Great tonight.
Yeah.
A guy who you've been waiting for to have a proper game. And sure, is Washington on a Sega Baba and the Avs gave him a big lead and yada, yada, yada. Yes. Mm-hmm. But he was a guy who, more than the actual statistics tonight, he looked like a guy who was playing with confidence tonight for me.
Yeah, he was really good early on when the rest of the Avs were still trying to find the legs, find the game a little bit. Of all the guys, the rest versus rust conversation after 3 days off, which is by far the longest break that they've had in a month.
Yep.
Since Christmas. Georgiev was great. He was just great.
Yeah,
So,
and I agree with you. If you compare it to some of the games that we were criticizing him as a group, right? Early on in the game, I don't remember what game, but it's like, he gets 4 or 5 shots and he gave up 3. I'm trying to remember what game it was, and they're down 3-0. Was it Boston, maybe? I
Yeah,
don't
3 on 11 in
first
Boston.
Boston.
Right, it's
game,
just
yeah.
like, so tonight it kind of had that feel to it a little bit too, but he made those saves. He made the big saves. And after that, he didn't really have to do anything in a sense that he did his job right there. Because if the Avs fall down 2-0, 3-0, it's a different game. I'm not saying they don't win the game, but it's a different game. So he makes the plays early in the game. That's his job. That's what he needs to do. Then he went on for, I don't know, maybe 18 minutes without a shot, right? Because that's what the Avs do, because they control play all the time. You knew it was going to be, I always tell you guys, like back-to-back, you feel pretty good at the start. You do, because you just played the night before. And then the Avs was like the opposite, right? They hadn't played in 3 days and felt like they had the skate, guards on still in the first period. And the guys were like, oh my God, like they never played hockey before, right? I mean, that's what it feels like. But give Georgiev his dues right there. First 10, 15 minutes, he's the star of the game there in the 10, 15 minutes, in my book.
I agree.
Love it. Here for it.
Yeah.
But we all know who the real star is.
Yep.
What were you going to bring up, AJ? I think it's ready now.
Oh,
Whatever
yeah.
this
Nathan
is.
MacKinnon. More fun stats with Nathan MacKinnon.
Yep.
For the
Read it,
audio,
I can't read.
Yeah, for the audio
Sorry.
listeners, Dmitry Filipovich, friend of the pod. And
Yep.
Look for Yeah, look for us to be on that show. Nathan MacKinnon since November 20th, 4 goal games, 2. 0-point games, 1.
That's crazy.
That's a guy having a season.
On
That
a
is
bender.
nuts, man.
A heart-worthy track. Put it to you that way.
Yeah, Nikita Kucherov on Nathan MacKinnon's night off as a 4-point night. Nathan MacKinnon says, "All right, I'll have a 5-point
I can
night."
do better than that.
Suck it.
It's pretty special stuff.
Love it.
2 questions here. First of all, do you guys know that song that got made after Austin Matthews' first game?
Who let the dogs out? No,
No.
I'm sorry.
No, it's a song that's called "Hit 'Em with the 4" like Austin Matthews
Wow,
because he scored 4 goals in his first NHL
I remember
game.
that. He didn't look happy about any of
Yeah.
them.
So
remember that, actually.
Nathan MacKinnon is now commandeering this song.
Okay.
There are large sections of this song where I don't know the rapper. I'm sorry, I don't know who actually made it, but there's like one of the entire verses is just him going Austin Matthews, Austin Matthews.
I'm
What a singer
Nathan
Rudo is.
MacKinnon will appreciate this.
So yeah, maybe if I find the time, I'll dub it over and just say Nathan MacKinnon every time he says Austin Matthews in that song.
It'd actually be pretty funny.
The other side of this is Nathan MacKinnon, like, has he solved the Matrix? Is he playing on another plane of existence? What
Yep.
realistically, this is it, right? It can't get any better. We've talked a lot about how there's another gear. This is the other gear, right?
Yep. This is honestly, this is his playoff gear in the regular season.
Yeah, fair enough.
So the question would be, does it get better in the playoffs this year? Or does it just continue at this pace?
Either will do just fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he's got another gear. That's how scary
How?
it is.
What?
I'm
how
just
many more
telling you
gears
right
can there
now.
be?
I think he's got another gear. It's just my gut feeling. I think he's got another gear. I don't know what gear that is.
Double
I'm
hat
not a
tricks or
Ferrari.
what?
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know cars, but there's another gear in there.
The 5-goal gear.
Yeah. There's another gear in there, fellas.
He's not. The thing is, like, this gear, he's even reluctant to score the 4th goal. He got
Buddy.
that 3rd one, and he spent the first half of the 3rd period like,
He
I'm
could have
not
scored freaking
shooting.
8
Yeah,
goals tonight.
the only reason that he scored that 4th goal is because he was so open in the middle of the ice that he was like, I just got
I have to.
He should have scored 8 goals. I'm telling you. There's another gear in there. It's
I think he
hidden.
had 8 shots on goal, so that would have been pretty impressive.
100% shooting would be all right. 50% is not bad, though, to be honest. A couple of factors here with these Nathan MacKinnon goals, and we're going to go a little bit out of order here, but Nathan MacKinnon had a 4-goal game. What do you want me to do? One, multiple one-timers from the left side work tonight. I don't think that anything has really changed there. We talked about this on the watch long.
Yeah.
The thing that changed there is the setups from Mikko and Makar on the 2 separate goals are all-world setups that leave Nathan MacKinnon in a prime opportunity to score.
Yep.
But then
The
you get
third
the
one
hat.
is the 2-on-1.
Yeah, you get the hat
sorry.
trick goal where no, you're fine. Where Mikko really just has to slide it across to him, and then MacKinnon rips off a beautiful backhand.
I liked Eric's point when we were on the watch along about how hard MacKinnon goes
Oh,
to
yeah.
the
Sure.
goalie. And because anybody that's read a scouting report about Nathan MacKinnon knows he likes to go high on that glove when he breaks in like that. And so to see him drive the net like he was going to do exactly that, and then he just cuts hard to his backhand, nice,
not bad.
nice.
And then finally, are we officially calling a 4-goal game an underwear trick? Is that where we're at?
I mean, no, but also, ladies, wilding out at Ball Arena tonight.
Both an underwear and a thong were
Yeah.
thrown onto the ice.
Not no judgment, by the way. Go crazy.
No,
Do
pop
what you-
off.
That's your clothing. Get
How do
crazy.
you throw your underwear on the ice, though? I'm just trying to.
Good arm.
No, I mean, you got to take them off.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm not going to answer.
That's
this
what the
question.
first 3 goals did. All
Yeah.
right.
We're just
Also-
staying away from this.
MacKinnon also, put Lindgren's jock in the rafters, so fair enough.
You had to feel pretty bad for that guy tonight. He
It
didn't
was-
stand too much a chance.
Tough night for that guy.
But I tell you what, we keep seeing those goals right now and replaying. You feel bad a little bit. Like I just saw Carlson there. Like the Avs were just zipping that thing around and moving, and it looked at times like Wash had no idea. They had no answer. They were just running around.
Well, and that
It was awesome to watch.
the reason you feel bad for him is because what goalie in the NHL is stopping those?
Yeah.
Like,
None.
Yeah.
those beat everybody. It's not the Avs took advantage of a weak goalie like they did the other night against Sogard. This was the Avs just making great hockey plays. And even the ones that don't go in, you're regularly watching the Avs go tic-tac-toe, make 3 sick passes, and you're like, okay, dude, whatever.
I'm afraid to say his name because the reaction is always intense. But Ryan Johansson is robbed of 2 assists tonight.
Yeah.
Easily.
Because Lindgren actually makes 2 fantastic saves.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes they just make the best save on you. I mean, they technically didn't make them on Ryjo.
Yeah. That's how it goes, though.
If that's not
okay.
hockey, I don't know what is. I'm sure we'll talk about Nathan MacKinnon more, but I want to back it up here. Let's go back to that first goal. And if Nathan MacKinnon hadn't had a 5-point night, arguably the guy who played the best in this game, Cale Makar?
Yeah, I don't know how to separate them when they have nights like this where you're like, all right, one of these guys scored 4.
Yeah, Mikko
has a 5-point night.
Was it a 5 for
Yeah,
him
he finishes
too?
with
Jesus,
5.
man.
And, Cale Makar is unbelievable.
Has a shorthanded goal.
Yeah.
Multiple points on top of that.
Yeah. He has, because Cale Makar finishes with a shorthanded point, a power play point, and even strength point, right?
But he has the play of the game in my book. It's the goal that breaks
Right.
the game
Yeah.
open.
Oh, totally.
Right? I mean, that shorty is the game that breaks
Not
the.
crazy.
And this guy's so good. I mean, man, he only had 3 points tonight. Kind of sucks, but
What a
whatever.
bum. And the thing I want to get into on Cale
They're both
Makar,
power play points.
they were both power play?
Yeah, so Makar finishes with a shorthanded point and 2 power play.
Yeah, they went
points.
2 for 4 in
Fair
the power
enough.
play.
Fair enough.
Oh, no, not that.
But the thing I wanted to talk about with Makar, as AJ kind of had already mentioned in the pregame, the Avs have really been on a grueling schedule for this season. If you remember, their October was very slow. So essentially from November all the way through to this last 3-day break,
yeah.
the Avs have played, in some cases, it was up to 6 more games
Yeah.
than other teams in the league.
Yeah.
So they've been significantly busier. And you see what 3 days off can do for someone like a Cale Makar. A guy that I think realistically we've looked over the last week or 2 of games and said, hey, you need more out of that guy. Turns out when he has his legs back, you get a whole lot more out of him.
And I'm going to jump in right there. And as soon as I saw, I kind of heard him during the road trip. I'm talking about Bednar. I think too many times coaches mess that up. I'm going to give them kudos here. So bear with me. On the road trip, I heard him say like, oh yeah, 3 games, 3 days. And I think 2 of those are going to be days off. And so many times coaches overthink things, and they're like, okay, we're going back home. We have 3 days. Then we have a break. We can use a couple days of practices there, get on our top of our system. No. Opposite. And they nailed it right on the head. They nailed it, which was come back from the schedule, right? Saturday afternoon game in Philly. Mm-hmm. Give them Sunday off. So they got home. It was Saturday night. Let's say they were 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at home, okay? Right? Awesome. Because you gained the 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday off. Monday practice. Tuesday off. Come fresh for morning skate on today.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to the coaching staff. They nailed it. Too many times, and so many times I've seen in my life in the NHL, coaches overthink this thing and then all of a sudden throw a couple hard practices in there because we got to go over this and this and that. No. You got to get away from the rink. You got to get Cale Makar home, playing with his dog or whatever it is. I don't even know if he has a dog, but you know what I'm saying. Do something else rather than going to the rink. And then you come so fresh. And look at MacKinnon, look at everyone tonight, Georgiev. You got to take advantage of those holes in the schedule because you're not going to see after this break here. I didn't look at the schedule. I don't think they have 3 and a half day break without a game, right?
They come back from the All-Star break and kick it off with a back-to-back on the road.
Oh,
So
suck it. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just like you've been on the beaches in Cabo and you come back.
Rest.
But I don't think they have a 3 day. I mean, I don't look at the schedule, but I mean,
yeah, I'd have to look.
and if they do, take notes on what you just did and do it again.
Repeat.
Right? Rinse and repeat.
Look, obviously there's a factor that matters when it comes to getting that rest where you can, especially for someone like Cale, who we know has been nursing things on and off this year. So just wanted to throw that out there. Granted, it is a Washington team that was on a Sega Baba, a team that the Avs should be able to skate circles around through portions of this game. But
And to that point, I'm going to add a couple things too. It's
Yeah.
so different nowadays with all the technologies and the video work they can do in meetings and get something out of it without getting on the ice. Where back then it was more like, okay, let's just get on the ice because what else are we going to do? Like VHS tape to tape. Trust me, it wasn't that easy. And then and it was time consuming. So now it's like you can get a quick meeting. They're so far ahead now with technology of exercise and all that kind of stuff, and and all the data and the scientific shit, that they can get. When I say shit, you know what I mean, stuff that they can get, and then everybody has a sleep doctor now. I mean, there's so many things you can look at.
Shit, man. Even I have a sleep doctor.
it's true.
What, you watch? Like, isn't there a watch that tells you like?
Oh, I have no
There
idea.
is a
Yeah,
watch
hours-
that
yeah,
will tell you how you
right?
slept. Yes,
I'm
but
scared of that. You know why? Because I'm scared it's going to tell me like, oh, you're not getting enough, and then you're like, oh shit.
that is definitely what it will tell you. Yeah.
That's right. Well, 100%. But I'm just saying, like, am I wrong? What am I doing wrong right now? I would just be so scared, like, because you keep looking at it, right?
I'm trying to fix it.
I had a 99 sleep score last night.
See, that's
Must
what
be
I'm
nice,
saying.
dude. I'm regularly
Yeah,
throwing
but
like
your hours are all
53s
messed
on
up
that
anyway.
thing.
Does it
it's rare.
qualify your hours and stuff? Like, when?
Yeah, well, all right.
When?
My usage last night, I had 8 hours and 4 seconds of sleep. I had a good mask seal. I had 6.8 events per hour, which is very, very low. And I only took my mask off once.
Yeah,
And
but how'd you get
to
that? From the
readjust.
mask or from your watch?
No, I don't have a watch.
Okay, no,
this
no,
is
but
just an app that
Yeah.
goes to the machine that I
Oh,
use
okay, so it goes to the machine.
You can get a
that's-
watch that
Yeah,
does it
but
too,
I thought,
though.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. I thought it was a
I'm
watch.
glad we're
too.
having this conversation.
I love this shit.
That's how you know it was an easy game for,
for
the
the
Avs.
for the record, the Avs have 2 3-day breaks left this season, and they have a bunch of 2-day breaks.
Sure.
Their schedule,
Use them.
in terms of work, is very light
done the heavy
compared
lifting
to the
already,
rest
yeah.
of the teams.
Yep.
And as somebody who keeps track of schedule stuff like this, it's like easily their lightest workload in years in the second
For the
half of
second-
the
Good,
season.
Because they play good teams, though, right? The winning percentages of
They
who
do
they're
play
playing.
good
Yeah,
teams,
yeah.
yes.
This is their toughest stretch. It's right now and
Like the past,
trip
the
after the
last
road
few
trip
weeks.
after.
Yeah. So it's been the last several weeks. It was, and then it is immediately out of the break.
Okay.
And then after that, they go back to a middle schedule.
Middle?
It's fine.
They go to playing a lot of Central Division teams.
Correct. The division that has given them by far the most problem.
Yeah, but I
well,
freaking hate those games for teams that it means nothing at the end of the day. I freaking hate it.
and yet, they always come down to important games sometimes.
Yeah.
The NHL's actually, like, credit them. They've done a pretty good job of you'll get a Avalanche Dallas game late in the year or whatever it
Yeah.
is. So
I hate Dallas.
you hate a lot of things tonight. Eric.
What?
Anyway,
Jared Bednar says McKinnon's going from great to elite. Buddy,
he's
been elite.
Yeah.
You just don't know the words anymore.
He's going from elite to God tier. Like
He
it's
listened to me. He knows.
fine.
He's got another gear. That's what he's
Now,
saying.
I'll tell you what the difference is.
hit me.
McKinnon's been elite, but now he's in the inner circle.
Nice.
Go get yourself in the inner circle with Circle K. You can get a bunch of amazing prices and bonuses and get the Inner Circle Rewards app today. Your first 5 fill-ups after you getting it are 25 cents off a gallon, and they have a ton of other amazing rewards and otherwise when you go shop with Circle K. We were all munching on the sour gummy worms today during the watch-along. Absolutely delicious. Even AJ was getting down on a few of them. So let's go. You know they're good at that point.
Would you say that McKinnon snacked on Washington tonight at Circle K?
You're not the best writer in the world.
To be honest, it felt more like he devoured them.
Oh,
But-
2 writers going at it right now.
That was not a snacking.
Poets. 2 poets.
All right. Fair enough.
Either way, head over to Circle K today. Get those Inner Circle rewards. I got the QR code right on screen where you can get it, or you can go to circlek.com/inner circle today to grab them and become part of the Inner Circle. Also brought to you by the folks over at DraftKings Sportsbook. You can go over with DraftKings, put a deposit in today with code DNVR and get $200 in bonus bets. So jump on it with DraftKings, go in there, bet on whatever you feel like. MacKinnon 4-goal game. I bet you could get really good odds for betting on that, and it would have hit twice in the last month or so. So there are some good options out there, including betting the over in every Avs game ever, unlike me, who didn't bet that today, but should have. Join up with DraftKings today. You can also, of course, bet on the NFL playoffs with the championship games coming up this weekend, and otherwise basketball, crazy sports like badminton, whatever you need. DraftKings has you covered. What?
Go ahead. I don't know anything to say.
You can also bet on Counter-Strike. Maybe I'll call up DraftKings and be like, hey, a 1v1's going down.
That'll be our custom bet.
Yeah.
The DNVR bet of the week.
How many rounds does it take?
Yeah.
Join DraftKings either way. Use the DNVR code. Of course, when you do join, you must be 21 or over. Please play responsibly, and please buckle up. Keep all your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times, because when you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. cgkng.com/hockey for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. NHL and NHL Shield are registered trademarks of the National Hockey League. Copyright NHL 2024. All rights reserved.
And scene. All right.
Second period of the DNVR
Getting the man some water.
Avalanche podcast. Let's looking at this game. How much chops? How much credit do the Avs get? Because obviously they played great. Obviously their stars dominated. Do you chop them down a little bit for Washington being on a Sega Baba? Do you chop them down a little bit for Washington being just an okay team this year? Or is this full optimism? The Avs really are this good of a hockey team?
Yeah, you do. I mean, taking into some context, right?
It matters, yeah.
Like, Washington got the shit kicked out of them last night in Minnesota. They were a tired, beaten up old-ass team that rolled into a buzzsaw. The Avs were 18-5 at home coming into this game. Like, they're rested. They've been winning a lot of hockey games. Like, this was going to be a pretty big uphill. But then they got healthier coming into this game. You add
true.
Byram and Lecky into this lineup. Like, that's tough.
Yep.
So, like, you do at least just say, hey, this was an uphill battle for the Caps coming in. The Avs took advantage. That's a solid hockey team in Washington, though, that Colorado made look bad. Like, that was a shit kicking.
So does this go down as an easy win that was supposed to be an easy win then?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. That's exactly how I would have it on this one. This one was just the same way that when the Avs lost to the Kings earlier, coming at the end of that Western swing.
Totally.
They had played... that game was like their second game in like 22 hours. They played an overtime game the night before, and the Kings hadn't played in like a year. Like, you know,
it was like over a week.
Yeah, it was like 4 days
we were
or something.
Dying. We were all mad.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
Oh God, this is gonna get ugly.
And the Avs played well for the first half of that game, and by the third period, they were completely spent, and it still took a while for the Kings to break through in that game, and little did we know that would be the last time the Kings would win this year.
Yikes!
So,
wow.
So you know, we after that game, we were like, hey, you kind of been this one. This was one that you circled at the beginning of the year and said this was going to be really hard to win. From the Caps perspective, that's if we were doing a Caps pod, that's exactly what I would be talking about right now. That sucked to sit through.
But it was the expectation.
Yeah, that's a top 5 team in the NHL that just blew us out in their building. And they had all circumstances in their favor. And then they got all the puck luck in the game. Like, everything broke Colorado's way tonight.
Spencer Carver, you could see him on the bench. The coach of the Capitals was like defeated. You know,
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, he wasn't too happy with the outcome. And you can tell that the message the last couple days too, you know, hey, I'm giving you guys rest from the coaching staff. We have a job to do here. And the job is to get 4 points in 2 games. And then we get a break. And then we all come back. And then we all refresh. And then we get back to driving home the bus to bring us to the dance. And I think that tonight was past the test with the first one. And then now you just, you know, breathe tomorrow, and then you get ready Friday for the Kings. And then you really try to drive it home and say, okay, all right, perfect. That was our short-term goal. Get 4 points out of 4. Half of it's done right now, and then you got another half coming up Friday.
Well, and just to look ahead to that game, LA just blew a 3-0 lead tonight to Buffalo, and last I saw it was 5-3 Sabres.
Is it? I was
In
just
LA.
looking.
Yeah.
St.
Not
Louis
protecting
ended up
home ice there.
winning in OT.
You're talking. They won it in OT.
No,
Is it-
St. Louis. Sorry,
Oh,
I'm looking
okay.
at the wrong game.
St. Louis
St. Louis beat
won, though.
Yeah.
whatever they're called.
They beat
Canucks.
Vancouver. Yeah. So
yeah,
you're
it's
talking about
5-3.
That's a game that you might be the team to get Todd McClellan fired.
Yep.
The Kings have been on a deep downward spiral.
Yeah, it's tough right now to watch.
A deep
Keep them down there.
downward spiral. And yeah, you're fantastic at home. You've played the Kings twice in LA this year. You get them on home ice now. Put
Lick
them
your chops
away
a little bit,
Yeah, put
yep.
them away. And then you're done. Like you have 2 games in 3 days. You're fresh as can be, and then you're on your break. You don't have another game until February 5th or 6th. I don't remember when their first game is.
I want to say 5th, but I could be wrong.
I just don't remember which. So it's like, just
Let it all hang out there.
yeah, just smoke those guys too. Get their coach fired and go about your business.
No, we don't want people to get fired. No. You wish harm on teams, but you don't want people to get fired.
I think it might be the reverse of that.
But you know what I mean.
I know. Jimmy.
As a team, you want them to lose, but you don't want people to lose their jobs.
Losing has consequences, man. That's the
know.
reality of
losing
life.
a lot.
Hey, Father Todd's been there, 5 years now? I mean, it's longer than people think, right? Because it was the rebuild. And,
Yeah.
you know, this is how we play and learn. And now you got to take that step, and that's the hardest one.
They've done everything that they can. They've spent a
It
ton
looked
of
like,
assets.
and we'll talk to Blakey Friday, right? So,
And it
but-
sure looks like they gave up a number 1 defenseman in Brock Faber.
Yeah,
For
that
Kevin
does
Fiala.
not look great.
but Fiala's been outstanding too.
Right now,
I
yeah,
know,
but right.
I
What's
know.
more valuable?
I know.
Top line wing or Brock Faber?
Brock Faber.
Forgot that it was
Looking
Faber.
tough. Looking tough right
I
now.
forgot that it was a Faber. It was a Kings pick, yeah.
And anyway, yeah, it's for the Kings. It's looking bad right now, and
then you're
they
coming
don't
into
have
this
the
buzzsaw.
excuse that the Golden Knights do, where it's like, hey, all of our goalies have been hurt, and now our entire lineup is hurt, and this is a real tough thing for us right now. No, the Kings have just totally.
In the dumps,
Yeah.
for sure. The
So,
one other
keep
player
them there.
I want to do, well, there's multiple other players, but the one other player who starred in tonight is Mikko Rantanen. And
My dog.
I think a night like tonight shows you when you get a night where all of the Avs big guns are going, there are not a lot of teams in the NHL that can keep up.
When Sheldon Keefe said that the other day after the
Yeah.
Avs came back and beat the Maple Leafs, we were all kind of like, wow, he really said that? Because it was like, hey, what can I do? I only have the most expensive forward core in the league. Why, what can I do against those guys? Those guys are incredible. My guys are pretty good. Those guys are in a literal different league. Is what he was talking
If
about.
he's watching the TV tonight, he's saying, "See, I was right."
I told you guys.
That's exactly it. He got done eking out a 1-0 win against the Jets, and he was like,
Bro.
You see what I mean? What is this? It
An
looks like a
animal.
video game at times. Like when they get going, some of the stuff that they make, some of the plays that they make is just like it doesn't even result in goals, and you're like, what is this craziness? These guys are the Globetrotters. They're the hockey Globetrotters when they are locked in. I don't see any other team in the NHL do that.
You almost forget that you're watching an NHL game when they're doing stuff like that. You're like transported to this like, oh, am I watching like a CHL team play against a really bad CHL team, because the gaps in that league are significantly bigger than what they are in the NHL. But the Avs make teams look like that in the best league in the world.
Yeah.
They make teams look like they don't belong. It's outrageous that they can ever reach that level, let alone Nathan MacKinnon, who now has it's 80 points on January 23rd. 82 points on January 24th.
What's Mikko at now with
65.
Yep.
I mean, that's
He's tied with Connor McDavid. We're not even talking about the guy.
Jesus.
Connor
We just
McDavid
been-
is
we
like-
complain about him.
People are making a heart case for Connor McDavid, and the Avs' second best player has as many points as that guy.
Third best player.
Sure, you can give it to Makar.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have this.
Hey,
argument.
I got a quick question sidetrack here. What is it again? 3 wins is
Winning streak.
a streak. 4 is
4 is a heater.
5
5
is
is a wagon.
What about 14?
It's a statistical anomaly.
You got to give credit to the Oilers. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly,
I mean, that's crazy.
that is
Yeah.
awesome.
You don't take
I mean,
anything away
honestly.
from that. That's awesome.
14
is
games?
bananas.
Jeez. I mean,
Not
just-
like 14. Oh, they've gotten points in all of them, and they're 12-0-2.
14 and
wins.
0. Yeah.
It's incredibly
like
impressive.
Stuart Skinner. It's how can he be
Yeah.
that bad statistically that good? It's crazy. It's nuts,
Yeah.
man.
But
Good.
when they were really, really bad early in the season, and people like me who were looking at the numbers going, this can't continue, this was not what we meant.
Yeah.
This also can't continue.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're living in Canucks level of extremes here.
Canucks lost an OT tonight.
They sure did. Jets
Anyway,
also lost.
just
OT.
sidetrack, sorry.
A lot of OT losses right now. All right.
What did Quinn Hughes get? I'll look.
He had
Yeah, I
an
don't
assist.
know. Less than
That-
Cale got.
I don't know if he had one on the game
look
time
right
goal.
now.
Yeah, I don't know.
P.S. Cale Makar is 25 years old. Just set the record for most goals by an Avalanche defenseman ever.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for anybody to ever track him down.
And think about that. He didn't come for what, 2 years after he got drafted?
Yeah.
Yep.
Think about that.
It's
It's
his.
insane.
This is his 6th year pro.
Uh,
I guess 5th year, full year pro.
yeah.
5th full pro year.
Hughes got 2
I mean,
assists,
whatever.
2 assists.
And then like those are limited by COVID years.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say he also has couple of COVID seasons in there, so he doesn't get in full sample of games.
Yep.
He's always hurt. He misses games every year, so it's not like he's been an Iron Man. It's hilarious that the guy is.
Already smashing not just like regular season records, which he's done plenty of,
Yeah.
but smashing all-time Avalanche records at this point in his career.
And those were low bars for
Sure.
like most points by a defenseman, whatever. It just that stuff has always been really low for the Avalanche because they never had that long time. You know, had they kept Sandis Ozolinsh for a decade, maybe it would have been a little bit different.
Yep.
They didn't, so now all of these records are going to belong to Cale Makar, probably forever.
most likely. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a Ray Bourque level when he was in Boston. Where you're looking at it like any
next
defenseman
guy's-
that gets there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie McAvoy's like 1,700. What the? No, dude. No, I'm not getting to that.
I think I'll never win the Norris. God damn it. You know what I mean?
It's just fun. Nights like this are fun to watch the Avs be one of the best teams in the NHL.
Yeah.
Hughes got two assists tonight.
Yeah.
He
Cale.
got one on the game time goal. Of course he did.
Anyway,
That guy's also been great this year.
Oh, he's awesome. See how shot yesterday or 2 days ago? Whoa.
Yeah.
Yesterday?
Animal.
are over 100 likes. Thank you, chat. We appreciate that. So let's do our winner shots. Your Vitamin W here, brought to you by Dr. Dubs. We appreciate y'all for getting us over 100 likes. This is the good stuff, chat. This is the Vitamin W that you need.
Dr. Dubes.
Not just winter shots, but we're also brought to you by Breckenridge Brewery, the official beer of DNVR. You can go get your Breck Brew anywhere in the 50 United States using the Breck Beer Locator online at breckbrew.com. Get yourself an Avalanche Amber and enjoy it because the Avs are a good hockey team, it turns out. Why not?
That goal from Miko is so cool.
Like upside.
Yeah.
Up, down,
Flips a stick over.
upside down.
Chops
But
it out
the
of
three guys
midair.
aren't touching them. Like,
Yeah.
I would have bulldozed them. You know what I mean? Right? I mean,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you can't just bulldoze a moose, all right?
that's true.
Doesn't work out that way. And then we're also brought to you by Fubo TV, the easiest way to watch your Avalanche and Colorado sports. You can go on to FuboTV.com/DNVR today. You get 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro. You get over 140 live channels, including sports, news, TV shows, movies, you name it. They got everything covered for you. If you're not sure about it, you can go to FuboTV.com/DNVR and start a free trial. See how it works. It doesn't take any gear. You don't need a cable connection. You don't need any of that. You just go start the free trial. You get it all set up. You're rocking and rolling. It's a great time. It's super easy to use. It comes with 1,000 hours of DVR, so even if you can't catch all the games live, you can always record them and have them ready to go. It really is awesome. We all use Fubo now when we are not in the office and we need to go catch a game or something like that.
I use it for Nuggets games.
There you go. Fubo's the way to get with it. FuboTV.com/DNVR or that QR code on screen. Sign up there to get 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast as we are officially into DNVR After Dark territory, folks. Anything could happen in this period.
Let's gear this up.
I want to talk about the realities of Nathan MacKinnon's season. Because we've had a lot of conversation. We were just having the conversation about the Oilers about how this isn't sustainable.
Yeah.
How sustainable is Nathan MacKinnon's season right now through 48 games, having 80 points?
I mean, it's he's close enough to 2 points per game that you're like,
it seems feels unrealistic.
yeah, where you're like, come on, man, is he really going to have 140 points this year? So I've said a couple of times, I think it cools down at some point. And that's especially true if they are pretty locked into a seed at the end of the season, whether that be a 1 or a 2 or 3, whatever it might be.
Whatever, if it's confirmed what they're going to be.
Yeah, and like say like the last like 7 games of the season, they're pretty comfortable with where they are seed wise.
Start to see some dudes cruise around a little bit,
like we did in 22, where you know
that last
the
10 game stretch. Yeah.
The Avs went 4-5-1, and people were like, "You can't just turn this on in the postseason," and it was like, "Yeah, you can."
Turns
out,
yes.
One of those games was in Winnipeg. I worked it, and I went, and I was like, I remember texting you guys and being like, "This is the most relaxed NHL team I've ever been around."
Even on that stretch, like one of those games they played against St. Louis, and they decided to turn it up that game for whatever reason, and they smoked that team out of the building. Like,
because it's a poverty ass franchise that nobody gives a shit about.
Boy,
so sorry ass Blues. Sorry, what were we talking about?
Nathan MacKinnon's sustainability.
Yeah, on some level, this is totally sustainable, man. I've put the bottom rung at this if he stays healthy at 120.
That's a point. That's less than a point. Nah, it's right about a little over a point per game.
40 points away from it. That's the All-Star break.
That's so stupid, dude.
I think he sustains it. And I'll tell you why. I think he's in fantastic physical condition. You know, I think that it took him a little bit of to get going, a little bit of time to get going at the start of the year. I think he found his groove. Once he found his groove, he's never looked back. Sometimes it looks like he's not even breaking a sweat.
Yeah,
honestly. And I think with the sporting cast that he has, and that's not taking anything away from him, like, you know, people when they say, "Oh yeah, but he's got," no. But what I'm saying is, it's a great combo together. You know what I mean? So if you add that, you know, to his physical condition, to his mental shape right now, where they lost last year, they won the year before. Gabe's not there. Somebody's got to step up, right? And I think he's took the bull by the horn. I think we just saw Bednar talk about that, you know what I mean, on his presser tonight. We just didn't have the sound on, but that's what it sounded like. So I do believe it's sustainable. I do believe he will be a maniac down the stretch. And once the postseason comes, and that's where I say he's got another level. Because, I mean, the point production might not be there the same, but the level of play, he's got another level. We all know in playoffs it's even harder to get points. And, you know, but I'm saying this, his play will go up a notch, and that's what I mean, but he's got another level. So I think it's sustainable. I think he blows the door off your prediction of 120, whatever it was.
I expect he should.
Yeah, like you said. And then, but it's fun to watch. It's pretty to watch, and it's fun to watch Mikko. It's fun to watch Cale. It's fun to watch everybody when things are rolling like this, you know. And again, it was fun to see Byron and Lekkinen back tonight, even though, you know, they were feeling their ways, you know. But
We're going to talk about them in a second. Yeah,
exactly.
Just to, you're talking about slow start for MacKinnon at the beginning of the year. He had 9 points in the first 10 games.
That's slow for him.
Yeah.
Since then,
You know, it's crazy.
73 points.
73 points in 38 games.
That's what I'm
so
saying.
stupid.
Can you imagine if he had that pace the first 10? What would be at right now? Do the math. I mean, you guys are
He'd
good at
be-
with numbers.
He'd be at 100.
Approaching 100.
Yeah.
That's great. That's Gretzky-like. Right?
73 points in 38 games.
Just shy of 2 points per game, man.
I would want to go and actually sit down with a calculator. I'm not going to do math live on air because yikes.
Yikes.
But I would be curious to
How
see
many
how this
seasons all time?
how
Yeah.
this compares to McDavid getting 100 in the COVID season, in the
Yep.
56 game season.
Yep.
Against that weak ass Canadian division.
It's slower, but not by a lot.
It's right there.
73 and 38. Somebody want to extrapolate that across 82 games for me real quick, and we can see what point pace he has been on for the last 38 games.
If you just multiply it, you would get 146 in 76.
I'm not doing math live on air.
So you're looking at
I'm not doing this.
roughly 155 points in an 82 game season at that pace. Roughly.
It's like
I need a calculator.
I'd be so curious to see where that, even with the 80s, where that would be.
Yeah.
So.
It'd be up there. No doubt about it.
157 points. Shut the. All right.
And the
pretty
other
good,
side of
man.
this, the last thing I want to mention about MacKinnon, but this is true of the Avs as a whole, 19-5 on home ice. Nathan MacKinnon is literally guaranteed a point, at least, in every single home game. He has not gone a single home game without a point yet. Teams don't want to come here. Teams don't want to play this team in Colorado right now.
I can tell you the Kings don't want to play them tomorrow on Friday.
Kings might not want to play anyone
Also,
right now.
we talk about this a lot, but the 10-game segments.
Yep.
The Avs are now 8 games into this
Yeah.
10-game segment.
Yeah.
Yep.
6-2.
Yep.
Yeah. There you go. You go 1-1, you're at 7-3 again.
Yep.
I'm just saying, right? We talk about it all the time. That's 700 hockey.
That would be 700 hockey for 4
Segments
Of
out
of
of
the
5.
5
segments.
10-game segments.
Yep.
Ridiculous.
Whatever. For a team that we spend a lot of time criticizing and breaking down and being like, hey, like,
They're pretty good, man.
yeah, tonight we're just going to let this, we're very much no, this is ridiculous.
Yep.
This is awesome.
And
What the shit?
and Winnipeg's on an absurd run. Like, forget about that. Like,
Yeah.
even like, what was it, 20 games in a row of 2 and under. Forget about the 3
like
and under. It was like
32.
no, but the 3 and under. But like
Yeah.
2 and under was like,
Oh, yeah.
it was like 20 in a row.
Yeah, that was some outrageous amount.
And then they're looking at it and they're like, shit, those guys are still there.
Yep.
They're right there on our asses.
after
right?
tonight, they're technically tied in points.
Yeah, I know. I understand. Yeah,
Winnipeg
that's
has
what I'm
games in
saying.
hand and
what
whatever.
I'm trying to
but-
say is, oh my God, we're not even gaining ground on them.
Yep.
And we've played absurd hockey, and here we are complaining about the Avs
Yep.
because we nitpick it. It's crazy.
What I will say about a night like tonight is I think it was fair. A lot of times over the last month, it was the Avs finding ways to win,
Yeah.
which is great. It's something you have to be able to do, but there hasn't been a ton of games like tonight where the Avs are just the better team and they just win. It feels pretty good when you get some games like this in the bank.
Not stressful when you're watching it, when you're coaching it, when you're playing it.
Yep.
There's no stress tonight.
No stress at all. Not
Nope.
by the middle of the second period. It was all fun and games.
Yeah.
You mentioned Byron and Lekkinen. I want to throw Sam Malinski in there as well because he's
Yeah.
kind of a guy potentially fighting for a roster spot. Any particular thoughts on the two guys getting back in the lineup and Sam Malinski?
I thought Lekkinen was a much higher impact player. I need to go back and rewatch just to get a feel for Byram and Malinski specifically.
Fair.
There were things defensively from Byram's game that I thought were not very good. Multiple instances where I thought he was losing. He lost his coverage, broke it down, whatever. He missed 9 games. Like, I'm not going to get on a guy in a 6-2 win. I'm not going to seriously get on a guy about any of this. But I do need to go back and rewatch to get a feel for it. I liked Malinski's game a little bit more on live, and I thought Lekkinen was an easy, high-impact player tonight.
You could see it immediately.
The Cale Makar shorthanded goal doesn't happen without Arturi Lekkinen at neutral ice, creating chaos, and then Andrew Cogliano picking that up, and then Cale Makar just
being Cale Makar,
being whatever you want to call him.
And you mentioned it, obviously they didn't convert on their chances, but Ryjo could have had multiple assists tonight. You throw Arturi Lekkinen on that guy's line, and that line has its best night in a month.
Yeah.
It's funny how that works.
Yeah. Yeah. No offense to Cogs. He just can't be in a top 9 anymore.
Just doesn't have the high-end offense.
He should be a
able to
true
do that.
fourth-line guy at this point in his career. And
bring leadership, and it's all good.
and like you're talking about on a fourth line though,
Yep.
and you're if you really do, I'll just briefly mention it though, but if the Zach Parise thing is real, you slide him into the Cogliano spot in your top 9. Your top 9 suddenly has a very strong feel to it.
Yep.
And Cogliano down on your fourth line makes your fourth line more of a true fourth line and not a we're just
these are 3
hanging
players
out here. Yeah, we're just trying to get by with these 7 minutes every night, whatever they played.
Yep.
And one of Kiviranta or McDermott will come out of the lineup. If that were to happen, we don't know the veracity of that, and it wouldn't happen until after the All-Star break anyway. So we've got a couple weeks to talk about it. So I'm not going to get too far into it, but you do see Arturi Lekkinen immediately makes Ryan Johansson feel much more viable.
Yep.
When Ryjo's not having to carry a line.
Yep.
He's not the best player on that, most talented player at this point in his career on a line. Not in a, oh, hey, let's keep him. Oh, hey, maybe this can work. Oh, hey, we don't need a center. We don't need any of that. No. None of that. Just, you saw the difference tonight, and that's how good Arturi Lekkinen really is, and should make you feel good.
Yep.
Well, just
about
look
where
on
that forward core is.
We talked about, you touched on it a little bit. Look on the first goal. The play of the game in my book, the Makar shorthanded, just his work in the neutral zone on the PK there creates that goal. And he didn't get an assist, right? I mean,
He did
at
not.
the end of the day, he makes the play. He creates the turnover. That's what he does. Hockey smarts, hockey IQ, whatever you want to call it. And that's what he brings to the lineup. And that's where he solidifies the lineup. And that's where he makes Ryjo better. Anyone that plays with him better. As far as Byron, I thought he was fine. Again, I'm with you. We'll leave it at that in the sense that, he hasn't played in a while. And whatever his injury was, I have no idea. We don't know. So we don't know what did he feel good? Was he limited? whatever. I defer with you a little bit on Sam Malinski. And again, that's the blue collar coming from the minors. I would have liked a better game from him. They took by surprise, to your surprise, Jack Johnson out of the lineup, right? I'm just saying I would have liked, and I'm just nitpicking right now. They won 6-2. I'm just saying I would have liked a better game from him to say like, hey, that was the right call. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying he played bad.
Especially because he's coming out of the lineup for the Kings game.
I think he's out next game. Yes, that's what I'm saying. So I don't know.
We
I would have liked
he's
it.
out of
Yeah,
that lineup. I don't wanna say no,
we
but-
expected Arudo and I that he was going to be in Loveland by today. So, you know what I mean? Right? 2 days ago we talked about that. Yes, was it yesterday? I don't remember.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just would have liked a little more like assertiveness. In the
Honestly,
game. But I'm just nitpicking.
his game tonight, I think, would even justify an 11-7 approach against the Kings. You could put Jack Johnson out there.
Yeah.
You
You're
could
right.
play.
You're
You could
right.
play Sam Malinski.
Yeah.
You could take one of Kiviranta or McDermott. I'm not going to sit here and say I have a preference. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I feel like if I just can't say any more about Curtis McDermott that I haven't said a bunch over the last.
But I got a
3
question
years.
for you guys then, because I've never really looked at it like in that way or last year. Or what's Prater and Bednar's thoughts on 11-7? Like it or don't?
They
don't
did
like
it for like a full month last
Yeah.
year.
Gosh,
Now,
I'm
obviously,
trying to
last
remember,
year
yeah.
injuries
I
were
know.
a major factor in
Yeah.
some of that. So some of that was their hand being forced. But when you look at it, if Malinski or if Jack Johnson, they feel good about where he is health wise for the Kings game, just run 11-7 for a game.
Yeah.
You double shift LOC, double shift the Druin,
Yeah.
okay,
I
double
got
shift
you.
Lecky if you want. It doesn't matter.
I agree.
I would say they've never been afraid of it. I would
Yeah.
not say that they like it.
I don't think any team
Okay.
likes it.
Yeah.
Because it messes with your rotation, it messes
Yeah.
with the rhythm.
Yeah.
But for getting by for a game, you're saying, okay, which version of our lineup is stronger? The one without Sam Malinski or the one with Sam Malinski and Jack Johnson, and you pull a Kivy Ronter and
And the
McDermott
guy
out?
you're playing 5 minutes a night.
Yeah, like for me, I think that's just an easy. It's a one game thing, and then when
Yeah.
you get back from the break, if you have a Zach Parise, if that's a real thing, and he is in your lineup, you still have the decision to make on defense, but it's much better at forward because you know one of those guys is coming out for a guy that you feel comfortable with. Clearly, you have to feel comfortable with him, otherwise you wouldn't have signed him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that more on Thursday.
Sure.
Yeah.
That is what it is. Yeah, I really don't want to do a whole lot else with this game. The Avs went in there, they dominated, they took
We
care of
haven't
business.
really talked about it that much because
There's just not a lot to say.
Yeah.
Your star players went in there and dropped 5-point nights, and they left because they were just better.
Yep.
You gave up a couple goals late that, frankly, I don't care about at all.
No.
The game was over.
It is what it is.
and
That's fine.
The first one, okay, maybe you don't love it. The Avs go down and make it 5-1, and the game's over. The second one is literally irrelevant to the outcome of the game. Doesn't matter. All right.
Yeah, the closest they got in this game once the scoring began
Yeah.
was 4-1.
Yeah.
It was never close. When you go and look at the deserve to win meter, it's going to be on. I imagine it's on Washington's side because
Massive score effects.
by the 9 or by the 10-minute mark of the second period, it was 4-0.
Yeah. And like, credit to the Avs for keeping it 4-0 in the second period. Washington pushed at the end
Credit
of
to
that
Washington
second
too
period.
for
Yeah,
showing
yeah,
life.
yeah.
Yep.
They were getting run out of the building and they showed life at the end of the second. They showed life well into the third. I was frustrated about it. Then they made it 5-1, and I didn't talk about it the
Nothing
rest of the
mattered.
game.
Yep.
So, yeah.
All right.
A lot of credit to the Caps. I thought they were actually better in this game than they were against the Wild last night, where they were awful.
Super chat time. Let's get to them. $5 from Justin, who says, Makar said in his post-game interview that MacKinnon has another gear too. What's scary is I know he's got another gear. I'm here for it.
Agree.
If he has another gear, we really are going back to the 80s at that point, man.
Yeah, he's one of the very few guys that high-end guys. I just got really dizzy. He's one of the very few high-end guys whose points per game in the postseason is higher than his regular season.
Yep.
That's a pretty rare thing. I went through the top 100 scorers in NHL history
Not many of them.
at forward and to compare their points per game versus regular season versus postseason. And it was like 6 of them had that was true of. So it's not a normal thing for that to go up, and it's true of both MacKinnon and Rantanen. The guys are just freaks.
They're just
And
better.
obviously they have each other.
Yeah.
But nobody ever took that away from Gretzky and Messier and Curry.
Plenty of good dudes on that team.
Yeah, those guys are all in the
That
Hall of
went
Fame
and
together.
Won a championship after Gretzky left, by the way.
You know who didn't?
Gretzky.
Gretzky.
Close, though.
Hockey's hard.
Yep. $2 from Vaguely, who says, no cap, no pants, no bra.
What?
I don't even know what this means.
He's just because they threw the bra on
Yeah.
for the 4 goal. I think that's all there is to it.
Got it.
And the cap because of the hat trick. I don't really get that. Is the no pants just our because it's us
Yeah.
and we
'Cause
like no pants?
It's my default state of mind.
$5 from the Walrus, who says, hashtag Rudo boobs, hashtag tarps off for
Yeah.
the game review video later tonight. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
supporting a Rudo OnlyFans.
That's pretty funny.
I am confident if I started an OnlyFans, it would not make a dime.
If only because OnlyFans took it all from you. From your one subscriber.
And then Vaguely Sober also asking about my OnlyFans. You guys are making this after dark, not me. This is you, chat. This is on you guys.
2 subscribers are Vaguely Sober and definitely the Walrus.
Just because hat tricks make me wet doesn't mean I have an OnlyFans, chat. And then Wilson with the $5 who says, Lecky looking ready to join the onslaught going forward as well. Go Avs.
He was really good tonight for a guy who hadn't played
my
35 games or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, give me
That's
a break.
hard to do, to jump in, man.
He's so good.
It's a good league.
It's only his 13th game of the season. He looked that good.
He's
Whatever,
ready.
Lecky.
I must be nice to be that good at anything.
Right?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know how to be that good at anything. So that's all I
The way
got.
you talk, you would think you were that good at Counter-Strike, too.
Nah, I'm better at StarCraft than I've ever been at Counter-Strike. I just think you suck at Counter-Strike.
Yeah. Never played, so I guarantee you he's right.
All right. We are going to wrap this one up as we do have another show coming for you guys tomorrow on an off day. It should be a fun one. And then, of course, wrapping up the week with the game on Friday with the takeover. So if you're coming to that, you should have gotten your tickets in your email today.
Super busy content week for us. Megan and I are going to be on Filipovich's PDO cast as well. Yep. I don't know when that'll probably comes out Friday, I assume. But also we had a Die Hard roundtable that came out today. So if you guys have not checked that out, go and read it.
It's good stuff.
It was lengthy.
Yep.
There was a lot in there.
All right. That's all we got. We appreciate all y'all hanging out with us. We are going to get out of here, and we will talk to you all on the next one.
We all silly like the mayor.